Hey, darling, I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you. I don't know how we're going to have a
Gosh,
conversation.
I'm on mute.
Oh, there we go.
Rookie move. All right. So let me start from the beginning. My name is Minnie Alexander, and thank you for joining us tonight. Or if you watch it tomorrow, next week, a year from now, thank you. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button. So, again, I'm going to introduce my co-host, Queen Glover the Lover. Hey.
Hola. Hello,
Hey.
hello, hello.
How are you doing tonight?
Man, I'm in serious mom mode tonight. So
Uh-huh.
I am momming and living and loving. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm relaxing in my bed, my comfortable bed. I was like, I'll be comfortable tonight. I could sit up here in a chair or anything, just chill, have a little girls chat with you, and whoever else want to come on the panel in a few minutes. So the topic tonight is how old is too old, and I know the topic is the description of the topic is very brief, um, but to give it a little more clarity in dating, how old is too old? Is a 10-year difference too old? 15-year difference? 20, 30, and beyond? Like, what is too old? Now, what do you think, Queen? What do you think is too old?
I mean, for me, it literally is ages a number. It's about lifestyle. Do your
Mm-hmm.
lifestyles match? And that doesn't mean necessarily everything that you do, but you know, your lifestyle. Are you as physical? Are you 40 and as physical as a extra physical 60-year-old, or are you, a super physical 40-year-old who might want to run with a 20-year-old? So it just depends on lifestyle to me.
Okay. Okay. Um, for me, I I don't know. I because now we got to talk about we get talk about culture, about where we live,
Yes,
um, and then maturity. I mean,
absolutely.
so and then like women dating younger men and men dating younger women. Like where, I guess it's all about opinions. I mean, so I have a preteen daughter. So
Okay.
when my preteen daughter turns 18, if she brought a 33-year-old man home, I would be a little upset. Even though I can't do
A little
anything.
distraught, a little distraught.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do anything. She's a grown woman by that time. Especially, I don't want to push her out, but if she's already out and living her life and stuff, I can't do anything. But it's like, what can an 18-year-old give a 30 something, 40 something year old man besides her body?
Absolutely. And I completely agree with that. And when you're going that young, you have to take those things into consideration. For me, I have an 18-year-old daughter who is casually seeing someone who's 22.
Okay.
And most of the family was a little bit up in arms about it. However, my daughter's super mature. She's um they're both in college. They both work, they both carry similar loads, they both have extracurricular activities, all of that. So
Hmm.
I felt like, okay, well, maybe that's a match because you guys match each other in lifestyle. They like the same things, they like the same music. They're both old souls for their age, and they're both really responsible for their age. But, the one that my youngest daughter, have her turn 18 and try to date someone just even 4 years older. It's not going to happen. My
Hmm.
12-year-old right now, mentally, as far as like the world goes, she's got an Angie Davis old soul. But when it comes to love and dating, and you say the word penis, and she looks like the whole house has been set on fire and we're all going to die.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
when it comes to that young, I feel like that kind of distance. And then and if it is a 33-year-old dating an 18-year-old, I imagine some 33-year-old living in his grandma's basement playing video games unemployed trying to
Uh-huh.
date an 18-year-old. So
Uh-huh.
that's not the ideal goal that you would have for your young daughter. So they might match maturity wise, but yeah, no. What is he going to do for her in 20 years? He's going to finally make it to what, he was supposed to be at 20 by the age of 50. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's a little scary.
Yeah. Um, Now when I was in my 20s, I mean, I mostly dated 20-year-olds, but I did uh kind of entertain older or when I was older men.
Mhm.
And being the age that I am now, I'm like, what kind of conversation could I really hold with these older men? Like that's why it's kind of like they just must have been dating me just to try to, get physical because I don't now I feel like I could hold the conversation. I know about, what's going on in the world, the past, history. In my 20s, I really wish I had a recording of myself. Like, and actually, when I'm sitting down on a date with a man who's maybe 10 years older than me, what was I talking about? Like, I just graduated from high school, but he possibly been graduated from college.
Mhm.
It's like I don't, I don't know. If for me, it's like when I, not all the time, but like, and this is not every single case,
Of course.
but I think when like a lot of older men, and everyone has their own reason, but a lot of older men, when they date, I'm talking about in their 40s and 50s, and they're dating younger.
Mhm.
My thing is, and I guess I'm stereotyping because I don't know the whole story, but stereotyping saying, okay, he's with her for the physical stuff to get, high fives from his male counterparts, and also because she hasn't really lived life, and it's kind of like he can guide her or groom her into how he wants her to act.
I absolutely think that that's part of it for
Mm-hmm.
sure. I really, really do. But I think that sometimes two souls connect and it defies space and time. It defies
Mm-hmm.
the physical attraction is definitely there. Hey, the woman may have some daddy issues, the man may have some midlife crisis issues going on, but I think that there's a sense of comfortability because there is an assumption that a younger woman is willing to listen more and not necessarily be groomed by listening to be groomed, but to just be an ear to, because they're still learning and they're open to knowledge, whereas a woman who's a little more established is like, oh no, I'm not falling for the bull. You know what I mean? So I feel like they might be able to express things with a younger woman that they're not able to express in their own peer group because they're supposed to be a certain way and they're supposed to be seen in a certain light. However, they still have the same doubts as anyone else who is growing and traveling through this thing we called life.
Okay. So, real quick before we go on with this topic, now, please share with people listening what your profession is so they know when you're speaking. You're speaking not just from an amateur standpoint. Can you please explain to them what you do?
I am a certified matchmaker and I work with clients as young as 24 all the way up into their 90s to find casual, long term relationships as well as marriage and companionship.
You have an exciting job.
I have an insane job.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. You help people find love or companionship, whatever they're looking for.
friendship. And sometimes they're not looking for friendship, but that's what
Hmm.
they need because they don't have the emotional growth to quite enter a relationship. I help people figure out what it is they really want. And that's
Hmm.
what I walked into it thinking I would help everyone find love, and I'm deep into it in the muck. Um, and I'm realizing that I'm helping people not only, I'm helping them find themselves and realize what it is that they really want and desire.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's awesome. So we have Barbershop Talk TV. What about women dating younger men? Oof, gosh. We talked about this in the last show, so but we can talk about it again.
Absolutely. Okay, so that would be for a man dating an older woman. I think that they're attracted to the fact that she's established, she's confident, she's, playful, she has more sexual experience. And, a lot of times that experience isn't boastful. When a lot of women are young trying to get a man's attention, not me, because I no. But I notice a lot of women when they're trying to get a man's attention, they talk about, their sexual prowess, and an older woman is a little bit more sophisticated. And then in that, they don't need to talk about it because they've already been through the muck. They've
What?
already been through war. They've been through the
Like
trenches.
let me start
It's
talk about it and
Vietnam.
show you, huh?
Yeah, listen. I'm from the show me state, and I'm all about
Oh,
that. I
oh.
can show you better than I can tell you, honey.
Yeah, I love to talk. I love to talk to different people about all kind of topics. And I have talked to a lot of men over the years who have told me stories about when they were in their teens, late teens, early 20s, how they have had sexual experiences with women in their 40s.
Yeah.
And I've even had a handful of men over the years talk about how they had sexual encounters with teachers, which totally against the law, but and they didn't get caught, but they had sexual encounters with teachers, older women. And
Because a young man will adore them.
uh-huh.
They have that blind adoration. And it's, I mean, and they're insecure. When you're
Mm-hmm.
getting to that point, you're messing around with your student. I was about to get way off color, but when you're messing around with your student, that comes from a lack of self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
And a young man doesn't see it as that. They just see it as like a conquest,
Ooh.
because
Yeah.
they're told to respect these women. They're older than you. Well, she's looking at me, she respects me, so I must have something special. And yeah, you are special in a sense, everyone is, but it's not really about that. It's the same thing as an older man going after a young girl. It's part of it is sex, part of it is low self-esteem. It's just, when it's predatory. If you're an adult messing around with a kid, that's predatory.
So do you think 18 makes them an adult all of a sudden?
No.
Uh-huh. They're legal now. You can't go to jail.
Listen, in today's society, you can't buy alcohol. You can't necessarily, in some states, you can't go to a strip club. You can't buy cigarettes. The only thing you can do is go to war. The only thing you
Wow.
can do
You could
is
die.
lose your life
You
and
could
die.
die. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. So no, I do know some 18-year-olds. I know some that were drugged through the system and raised their younger siblings and got emancipated when they were like 16, 17, and they've been adults since they were teenagers. Yeah, those, sure. They are adults. They're taking care of a family already. They're going to work. They have adult responsibilities. They're going to court to gain custody of their siblings. You know what I'm saying? Like, but those are extreme, rare circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Let's welcome Shano. Hey, Shano.
Hey,
Hey,
what's
hey,
going
hey,
on?
hello, darling.
Hey, how you doing? I was just hearing some couple of things.
Oh, okay.
You know, it seems like what all the men is doing, of what he's interested in, but we're not saying what the woman. Why it can't just be what the woman? She probably just want a younger guy. Cause I done had a lot of older women hit on me, and you know, and it can't always be the guy just want the guy because he's more experienced or she got money. Because you got older women practically throw themselves to younger guys all the time.
But is it just for sex or is it for a relationship?
It could be for anything.
Okay. Okay.
They
Yeah,
do.
I
It could
agree.
be for
That's
anything.
both ways. Yeah, it's both ways. It's a lifestyle thing. But if they children, messing with older women, that's an offense.
No, it usually it be the other way around. It be older women messing with children.
I
Huh?
know. I'm saying that's not right.
You're
It's
saying so,
men,
but
older
but
men
you're
messing with
saying
children, older
children
women.
messing with older women is really the other way around.
Oh, you're talking about the, okay, I get what you're saying. You're talking about the woman's the pursuer.
Yeah,
More
absolutely.
than likely, yes,
Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. Of course, the woman's going to be the aggressor.
Mm-hmm.
all the
It's
time.
that whole grooming, and it's that whole mental illness and disgustingness of, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but as
So
you get
yeah.
into grown folks, like, let's say 20, 20 dating a 40-year-old man, 20 dating a 50-year-old man. I had a friend who married the love of her life at 23 and he was 47, and you know what, they worked and it was beautiful.
Mm.
And
Well.
the only reason it didn't last is because he got cancer and passed away.
Oh wow.
But they were together for a very long time,
Yeah.
and it worked. No one ever questioned it. It just
Hmm.
worked. It was beautiful. They both were intellectual, cultured, rowdy. I felt like they balanced each other out. But in other situations, it could go the opposite direction.
So I have to tell on myself. And the only reason why I'm sharing this is, so okay, let me stop real quick. So when I share things publicly like this, I always think in my head, if my mom was watching this, would she be embarrassed or ashamed? So what I'm about to say next, my mom would not be, because my mom, I share with her who I date, how old they are, their little description of them, what they do, all that stuff. My mom, my sister, people in my family, they are used to me dating older men.
Mm-hmm.
So the oldest I have dated is 27 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
And he had a son 2 years older than me. He had a daughter. No, I take that back. There was one older than that. Okay, let me
I
tell a
think
story.
that's
Can I
too
tell a
old right
story?
there.
Huh?
I think that's too old.
Can I tell a story? It's
Mm.
not my mama, so I don't care. My mama didn't care. Now what? Anyway, so this one gentleman, let me think. How old was I? Oh God. I think I was 39.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm ashamed to even say how old this man was.
Well, you said 27 years.
Nope, there's one old. I said one older than that.
Oh, oh.
Oh, this is
You try
okay.
to get some insurance money.
Okay, so wait a minute. I was 39 and he was in his 80s.
Oh.
I did
Damn.
not know that. So we went out a few times, and I was talking to my mom on the phone. I'm like, Mom, I'm scared to ask him how old he is, because he moved around good, girl. He had me, we were flying places, we were going to concerts and dancing, we were walking. I mean, he didn't move. I mean, he wasn't as smooth walking as a 40-year-old, but he was,
How
still
how
So
getting
was
he
the
around.
thought
sex?
maybe he might be 60.
Maybe, he worked out. So he didn't have, like, his body wasn't, it was still kind of weathered, but it wasn't
oh, so he performed
banged
well.
up. Huh?
He performed well.
He said worked
No,
out. That's
we
not what
never
he
had we
said.
never had sex. I never
Okay.
had sex with him.
That's
Let
he
me
got
make that
sex
clear.
practice.
Okay.
We dated for like, no, we dated for about 2 months. And we did not have sex. I don't know
Okay,
how that
two
man was
months.
sex.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
So
Damn, that's cold blooded, man. Ain't getting none. He ain't flew yet.
Listen, he had the pleasure of being around a fabulous, flirty, under 40-year-old woman. That is payment enough.
thank you. So
Damn, that's cold
so
blooded.
it was like 3 or 4 dates in. I finally asked him how old he was, and he hesitated.
Of
And he
course.
didn't want to tell me. But I know he had kids older than me. And then, when someone talks about their life and you can kind of try to calculate, my mom was the one who's like, he seemed like he's in his 80s from the stuff he's telling you. And so I
You're
was like,
like,
I don't
Mom.
know, Mom. So I asked him one night, and I think he said he was 86. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Okay.
Not
So,
judging you.
so, yeah. So it was it was different. So he got a, so okay, so when we were dating, he would get a lot of props. Like when we were walking places, especially like he was a black gentleman, especially black men.
Of
When
course.
him and I were walking together, they would like give him like high fives and handshakes and give him the head nod and everything. Um, but the reason why it did not work with he and I was I did kind of feel, well, for one thing, he was married 3 times. And for me, I don't really like dating men who have been married those many times.
Okay.
And how old he was just 2, 3 years out of a divorce from his third marriage. That lets me know maybe you did not learn what the cause of your divorces are. So why would I want to be your fourth? And he was actually talking about me being his fourth. He would always talk about other women, which
Mm.
I did not like. I mean, sometimes it's okay if you're trying to share with me your past, but if we're somewhere sitting down and you're like, let me show you a picture or a video of a woman who's sitting right where you're sitting for no reason, no. So
Oh
there's
no.
a whole bunch of things besides his age. The reason why I oh, wait a minute, hold on, Shanna, you're gonna like this one. So one of our last dates, he no, he called after our last day. He called me and he basically told me, either you're gonna give me some or we gonna be friends. Girl, yes, he did, girl.
Oh. Oh, you gonna give me some? We gonna be friends? Oh, so
And
an
I said, like, yes, we're
ultimatum.
gonna be friends.
Oh damn.
And then also he had, okay, so this is another thing. So as a younger woman and dating that old, I could say I'm a younger woman.
Absolutely.
Men's bodies change.
Yes, they do.
So he and I would go out of town, and when he would go to the restroom twice, he came out and he urinated on himself. So
What?
I'm assu-
No, that's too old.
so I'm assuming
Damn.
so I'm
You dating them
assuming
old ass dudes.
so I'm assuming that he went to the bathroom and he just couldn't tell anymore when he didn't stop, and he
Or
would just
he
put it in his
started a
pants.
little bit before he got it out.
One time we were out at a concert and he had like a he could dress to death though. He was dressed real nice. He had a suit coat on. So it was long enough, to cover his area. But I was sitting down waiting for him. So when he came, the coat lifted up and it was a big wet spot. That happened twice. So a
Oh man.
combination of things, I'm just kind of like, that's why Money said, let's be either give me some booty or let's be friends. Let's be friends.
I'm sorry, sir. I just saw urine on your pants. I'm gonna have to go with a hard no.
Gonna
Okay,
wake up
shoot.
in bed.
Bye.
Wake up in bed smelling like pee pee.
Right, a little golden shower, a little golden bubble bath.
That's my story. My mama
No,
already knows, so I'm not ashamed.
well, you
Hey,
shouldn't be. He was attractive. He was smart. He was refined. Like he had a lot of qualities that you
he did
like.
have class. Oh yeah, he
And
had class.
class, yeah,
He did.
and I get that. That's why
Yeah,
I love a dapper older man. I
yeah.
do. I love a dapper older man, but yeah, the ultimatum, that was where his class was limited, because to give you an ultimatum, it should have been a vibe. Like he should have been creating a vibe, creating, you know what I mean?
Oh, and
Creating a vibe that
girl,
you were
he was a pimp in the
into.
'70s. Girl, yes, he was. He showed me pictures of him being a pimp in the '70s.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he was super old. You got a super old dude.
So what
I
did you
wasn't even
learn?
born
The
when
What
he
did
was
hell?
you learn
pimping, and I
from that?
wasn't even born. Girl,
What did you learn from that?
that old men urinate on themselves.
Okay, but that was the oldest
A
he
lot worse
dated.
than that. They do
A
a
lot
lot
worse
worse
than
than
that.
that. Trust me.
Okay,
Once them
so
bowels get to moving, shit,
stop.
they might have to wear a diaper.
Right? Don't let the gout flare up.
You
Oh
know
my
what I'm
goodness.
saying?
God.
Okay. So my last relationship was with a gentleman who was 20 years older than me. First of all, nobody, of course, could believe it like you. He was a brother, of course. Because he didn't look it. He didn't move like it. I hike, I scale down mountains, I swim, I'm very physically active. Now I ain't super fit, I'm thick as hell because I like to eat, but I'm active so that I can stay decently thick. But this gentleman, like he is like, the sex was great. We were physical. We were together 3 years. Sex, amazing. You know, I mentioned him last time. I could not find any pills in his house, and I had been with him for 3 years. I checked. I am a searcher. I looked. He was
Pills.
intelligent, dapper. He
The
was
the
smart.
pill, the pill, the men pill to go from whoop whoop,
You know,
that
like the
pill.
blue pills. I was looking for
Why would
blue
you try
pills,
to
pink
find
pills,
blue pills in his house?
Because of his age. Okay, after
because
she's done talking, I'll tell you
everyone,
some more stories.
everyone that I told about him, they were
That's
like,
weird.
if they asked, they were like, he's that much older. Is he on Viagra? It didn't even occur to me to
I
think
asked. I
about it.
asked her when she told
You
me.
weren't the only one. Everyone asked me, and I was just like, not that I know of. Like, he would have had to be a professional at knowing
Yeah,
exactly
but
every time. But we were so active. And when I
yeah,
say active, like daily, sometimes all day. Like it was crazy. But he was great. He was a gentleman. We matched each other because I loved history and he was up on current like culture and events. It was a great balance. We matched each other's lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was getting at. Is you have to match each other's lifestyle. I didn't feel like he was too old because he didn't act it. All the music that he liked and grew up on, I loved that. He knew more hip hop and shit current than I did. So it was an exchange and we liked the same things. And I wasn't going, I'm an independent person, so I wasn't going after his money. And he wasn't just looking for a booty call. We were just, chilling. We
So
were
what happened to y'all? Why y'all ain't still together?
because he decided that he got a really great job out of state to a state that I didn't want to move to. And I felt like he's getting close to retirement and his goals are different. And I am 42. I am not ready for retirement, but I'm gearing up to get set for it. So I'm running a lot faster and a lot harder in one way, and he's running like I'm running, he's running, he's doing a sprint. I'm in a marathon right now. He's in a sprint trying to make sure that he's secure for the last bit. I'm in a marathon that's preparing to get ready for my last bit. And we ended on great terms. I still talk to him. I love him to death. We're friends, but I just, it wasn't a decision that I could make for this time in my life. I can't just uproot. I have a 12-year-old. I can't uproot her from her father and her stepsister and her little brother, and there's a whole family dynamic, and I made a decision for me and my family. So that's it. That was it.
life happened. That's what happened.
Yeah, life happened and I had to make an adult decision. It was like, are you going to be mad and hate him, or are you going to support him and tell him to conquer and wish him the best of luck and be support? And I still support him. He still supports me. But, I am single. It's
No.
okay. It's all
Well,
right.
yeah, you have fun being single. Um, I think that some people think the older men, because I think I'm a professional, if I got paid, professional older men dater. Um, and it's like it is a big difference for me. It's a big difference when I date someone around my age
Yeah.
or someone who's 15, 20 years older than me. But it doesn't always equal maturity.
No.
I've dated some older, and a lot of the older men that I have dated that were 15, 20 plus years older than me, that I am stamping as immature. What I think has happened is, and they've been married again 2, 3 times. What I think is they can't really self-reflect. They
Ah.
can't. Their mind is just stuck on how it is. Like I say, you can't teach old dog new tricks.
Mhm.
It's just how they are, and they're just bringing that old self to every single new woman. And I see it. I'm just kind of like, I'm good. Like, I see why wife number 1, number 2, and number 3 divorced you.
Right.
Like, still the same person, you
Absolutely.
know?
My dad, I call him my dad, I call him the Liz Taylor of dating.
Mm-hmm.
He my his last wife, he's had six
Oh,
of them.
girl.
6 of them. 6. My
What?
mom was He married one of them twice, honey. Okay.
Okay.
I love my dad. He's the best, but he's a hot fucking mess.
Uh-huh.
But he that's what he did. I will say that's what he did, because I will say he has grown in the last couple of years since the
Good
last
for
one
him.
left him.
Yeah.
Thank God. Let's hope he gets it together before he dies.
Uh,
But you know, he did that, and I kept telling him, we all kept telling him as a family, like, you haven't changed. You know, it's like that math. I don't know if you ever saw that movie Dazed and Confused, where he says they stay, you know, I like those high school girls. I get older, they stay the same age. That was my dad's life mantra. Swear to you. That was
mm,
his mantra. I get older, or I get older, they stay the same age. He would get physically older, numerically older. However, his mind was not getting older. My dad was just literally a big ass kid. And he kept getting with these women and bringing the same thing to the table, not realizing that, hey, you need to reflect on why it didn't work the last 5 times, 4 times. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm-hmm.
and I think that you
Yeah.
have a point there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you just hit on something when you said your dad mentally stayed the same. Um, for me, when I have dated older men, one of my pet peeves with older men is I don't like older men who dress like they're young.
No.
And one of the last older men I dated, he knows how to put his clothes together. And most of the time we went out, he dressed very sophisticated. But then a few times we went out, he dressed like he was in his 30s, and I'm like, you have a child, you have children that are almost out of their 30s. So why are you
But
dressing
fast, but
like I don't
fashion is
like that.
timeless. Fashion
What
is
was
timeless.
dressing like to the
No, no, no,
30s?
no, honey.
Well, like,
No.
what do you mean? Like,
Not
is he
what so
wearing skinny jeans with his booty hanging out? Like,
Yeah, that's
no.
what I'm
So
thinking.
so
Was he wearing
everybody
that?
so everybody is different because he might approach a 40-year-old woman or a 30-year-old woman dressed how he dressed and they might love it. For me, I like older men because they're older. Like, don't dye your hair. I love the gray hair. Don't do it. Don't try to act like you're young because I know your age and I like you because of your age. Like we went out and he had this, like, the big rim hat, like, the baseball, I don't know what those hats are called, with like the designer scarf underneath. It looked very young. And I
mhm.
can't really tell you what he wore on the other part, but it just looked like, and
He was trying too
then he wore
hard.
gray contacts and would lie to me and tell me those were his eyes. He was a
Oh no.
liar too.
Oh no.
And I'm like, fool, everybody can tell those are like, why are you this old lying about wanting to have gray eyes and trying to
Yeah.
dress young? To me, yeah. When he skedaddled, I was like, bye.
Yeah, that's, I mean, and that goes beyond just age. That's something else. That's just
Yeah.
something else, you know. And as they say, ain't every nigga with gold for the fall, ain't every nigga with we say, what's that say? You know what I'm talking about? That outcast line.
How's it go?
Ain't every brother with gold for the fall, ain't every nigga with a fro for the cause, or something like that.
I
But
don't know, girl.
it's something
What?
like
She
that.
saying the N word? Okay, all right.
Excuse my language, you know, but
She
I'm
a
just saying
little hood. I see you
it's a
got a little
lyric.
hood in you.
It's a lyric. Or, oh yeah, with dreads, and every brother with dreadsing for the cause. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's that whole thing. It goes more than just him being
Yeah. Well, I
older.
think he wanted to be Caucasian.
Yeah,
He wanted to
exactly.
be Caucasian. He was married to a Caucasian for 20 years. And he
Oh,
loved
and
about
because,
his half Caucasian and black children. He loved them.
oh,
So, again, this man was in his 70s. Did not look like it. I thought he was in his 50s. No joke. When he told me his age, I almost fell off the chair.
stop! Where are you meeting these people?
She
But
like them old folks.
But again, it's like you're in your 70s walking around with gray contacts, lying to my face, saying that those are your eyes. And I wear contacts when I don't wear my glasses. I know how contacts look. And this man, the first 2 weeks, actually, we only dated for 2 weeks. He lied to me like 7 to 8 times. So
Yeah.
it's like,
So obviously, like you said, he didn't grow up.
mm-hmm.
He had a little bit of Peter Pan syndrome. So I can see, like, so you're saying that an older man who dresses younger is a red flag, that you might want to take a look at that. That's what I'm getting from what you're saying. Is like if you date an older man and they insist on dressing and adorning themselves to look as if they're younger, you may want to keep an eye on that because that could be a red flag for some type of dysfunction.
Something, girl. Be who you are. That's like, okay, for me, that's like if I dress like I'm in my 20s. If I walk around with little crop tops, and you know how like how teenagers wear. I mean, imagine if I walk like that was my everyday attire. You'd be like, lady, you're about like 15 years past that. Go sit down somewhere. You know, right? Right.
Well, yeah, for the most part, I say like if you're wearing that every day, then that's a problem. But listen, I'm a music festival lover, and I'm one of those people that I'm like, I'm dressing for where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't try quite do what I would do in my 20s because the body ain't looking like
Uh.
that. But yeah, like I like youthful style. I do. Well, I was a fashion designer for by trade in my first life, so maybe that's what it is. But I don't mind that so much. Now, if you got your vagina and stuff hanging out, we got to have a different conversation because you're gonna need to put that away. But you
You're like,
know,
put it away. Can you just cover
but I
that up?
feel
Pull your
like
shirt down.
yeah, I feel like it's a form of expression, and as long as it suits you, it's not wrong. And I feel like that with with as men and women, if it's something that suits you, that's that's not wrong to me. Now whether I find that style appealing, okay, so you feel like you're a 50, 60, 70-year old man dressing like a 30-year-old man, you feel like that suits you. You got the skinny jeans on with your boxer briefs hanging out, and you might got a
Ah.
couple of holes and some shit stains on them. You think that suits you. I'm comfortable with that suiting you, but I'm not gonna say it's stylish. I'm gonna say you're tacky as
Mm-hmm.
all get out, but that's an opinion.
Yeah. But now I can appreciate men of my age. I think that at this point, the men in their 40s are really are kind of starting to figure themselves out. So
Really?
I mean, the ones that I have dated, yeah. Again, I usually date older. I date older more than my age. But when I do date my age, I mean, they have the normal man issue, just like everybody has their things. They're not perfect, but I think like the ones that I choose, it seems like they've already kind of figured themselves out. They're established. um yeah, that's the kind of how I see it, so I can appreciate them. I can appreciate them.
Yeah. I just keep it
uh
open. I'm just open. I'm just
yeah.
open. You are who you are. You are what you are when you're hatched. You are who you are. I'm attracted
Hmm.
to who you are. I'm
Hmm.
Man,
not
I
saying.
think it's too old to date somebody that's old enough to be young enough to be your child. I
Well,
disagree
yeah,
with that.
I agree with that. Oh wait, as a man, you feel like someone who's old enough to or young enough to be your child is inappropriate.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna date anyone that's young enough to be my child. I'm sorry.
Okay, I have a story.
How old? Wait, how old
Go
are
ahead.
you?
Who?
How old? What's your age range? You, sir.
I'm 29.
Oh, you
Come
keep
on.
okay. So you
look at
29.
look at
So no dating 9-year-old.
Come on now.
Nah, I ain't gonna date. If I was 29, I ain't gonna date no 18-year-old. I ain't gonna
Okay.
date no 20. I ain't gonna. Nah,
Okay.
I ain't gonna. Mm-mm.
And why is that? What are you looking for? What
I
can
mean, I ready to date someone within my range. Within my range.
And what's
It's
your
more.
range? What's your dating? How old are you?
I'm 29, so it's gonna be about 28, 20. The lowest I go
What?
27, 27.
Chanel.
I go
Okay,
27.
29. All of a sudden you went to sleep and got younger, but okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Benjamin Button?
There you go.
I go 27 and over. That's it.
So two
Okay.
years, so 2 years younger, and then multiple years up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, short story. I was out maybe like 8, 9 months ago, and I was sitting somewhere, and he was a very good looking man. Very good looking, like 6'3", gym body, really good looking brown skinned man came to talk to me. And I could tell he was young, but I couldn't tell how young. So as we started conversating, I asked him how old he is. Girl, this young man said 24.
Ah!
I started calculating. I'm not good with math, but I started calculating. I turned to him. I said, I could be your mother if I was a teen mom. I said, I can't do it. As fine as you are, it's fine. As and I'm like, and usually I'm not attracted to men that young. I'm just like, I said, go thank your mama and your daddy for making something that's beautiful. But I can't do it. Mm-mm. I didn't do it. I
You
didn't.
didn't feel like setting up the playpen for him?
Girl, for real. For
You
real.
know, I understand that. I get hit on by younger men a lot. And I think it's mostly because I'm short. I'm 5 feet tall. I chalk
Oh.
it up to that. I'm like, maybe it's because I'm short and they think that because I'm little, I'm one of them. But I often that I do the same. I'm just like, I'm old enough to be your mom, darling, and I'm not looking to be a
Mm-mm.
teacher. You know, I'm
No.
I'm a lifelong learner. I'd prefer to gain some more education than taking the time to spew it upon the masses. But I'm flattered by it. I definitely am flattered by it, because
Mm-hmm.
when you get to your 40s, you start feeling differently about your body, about, just everything. Like your biological clock. I mean, if you haven't had kids, I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
can
threw
throw
that
that in the
away.
trash. Go.
I
Well,
threw that
biological
away
clock. Come on.
after.
Come on.
Yeah,
I'm done.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
Done.
Like, but for me, that's another reason why I don't date younger, because they are looking for someone who's still open to having children,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're fun. Like I've gone on dates with younger men. They're so fun. Like go-kart racing, let's go. Zip lining, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm looking for substance. I like a man who's read. I don't necessarily I'm white collar, blue collar. I'm all about it. I'm an artist. So I try not to judge because everyone's path is different. But the younger, for me, that's the main thing, is that they want to have children. Um they haven't quite found themselves yet, and I've always been attracted to someone who's pretty secure in who they are as a person, and that spans. And when I tell you, I've dated cross culturally, cross sexually, cross everything.
Oh shoot.
So I just feel like it's that sense of self that's key. And definitely dating. I'm not into dating anyone who wants kids or is thinking about a future in that light. Not, no.
I
So
want some gray hair and wrinkles.
yeah, I mean, I don't mind, as long as the ball sack ain't sagging way down to the kneecap, I'm straight.
That's what happens when they get older,
It
girl.
does. It's just
Ew.
on the kneecaps. You need to roll it up, pick it up, and tuck it in the underwear. I'm good on that. I'll wait for that when I'm there
Look,
too.
you gotta. That's what you gotta look for, Shano. When you get older, you better get
What?
strong to pick them up, to roll them up.
Okay. All right.
We're killing him. We're killing him. Okay. All right. Tell
Mhm.
us
Oh my
why.
gosh.
Tell us why you think older men go for younger women. Please, I'd love to hear your opinion.
My opinion,
Yes, yours.
because it's something with tight skin and more spunk. Some older men want to still think they got it, so they'll try to go after the younger women. To see if they, you know, still pull something. Young and tenderoni. Men think like that. So,
Of course.
I mean, I'm not saying all men are like that, but some men do.
What do you, and you said you prefer someone that's no younger than 2 years. How far older are you willing to go in dating a woman?
Uh, I ain't gonna. I mean, let's see. I'm 29.
So you sticking with that.
Probably no older than 10 years older.
So you're willing to go older. Why?
Maybe not that old. So it all depends. I don't know. It all depends.
What does it depend on?
Cause it just I don't know. I mean, it all depends. It just all depends. Cause I don't want to be taking care of no old person, and I just don't want to go that route.
Right. So if it was an older woman who could keep up with you physically, who was mature but still youthful enough to take in new opinions and ideas, who was stylish, intelligent, but not
I maybe take it
evicted.
under consideration. Who knows?
Okay. Are you single? Are you actively single right now? Do you have
Yeah,
a
I am. I'm
You are?
single.
Okay. And right now, do you date regularly? Like, do you just meet women on the street, or do you?
No, I'm not really just doing a whole lot of dating right now.
Okay,
I'm more concerned on getting you know making things better for my future.
absolutely, that's a beautiful thing. Respect.
So I want to take care of that before I just get off into a serious relationship right now.
Okay, so you say you feel like you have a plan, more of a plan now.
Pretty much.
All right, for yourself, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, do you think that older men who date young women, do you think that they have a plan for themselves, or do you think they've already reached that plan? Like, what's your
I
opinion?
don't know. I can't really tell you that because I don't really date younger
You date.
women like that in
Mm-hmm.
their 20s and stuff. Um, I don't know if I think it just be just something fun to do. If you ask me,
Um,
I appreciate
so
that.
so for me, in dating older men, I find that it marriage has come up more when I've dated men that were like 15 years older than me. I've had more of those men where we actually talked about a future and possibly getting married. So I did give kudos to the men that are around my age, but I feel like the men my age, it seems like they're slower to talk about that. Actually kind of avoid it. But so when I do talk to women that are in their 30s and 40s, if they've never been married before and that's what they desire to do, my suggestion is to date older, because those men, now there are older men that do still play games and they just are out there just to get physical, but there are older men that can appreciate a woman that is 15 years younger than them, and I think that's what I honestly what I like. A man who's just a few years older than me, and then I don't feel like they really appreciate me. But then if you date someone who is 15, 20 years older than you, they appreciate that you even gave them the time and you're actually spending time with them and you're actually getting to know them and you're actually building a relationship with them. Um, so that's my advice with women, when they're like, you can't find any men, or, I'm just date older. And there's some men out here that are older that are good looking.
Yeah.
They keep themselves up. They like to do things, and I love hearing their stories, or even advice. And again, I don't have daddy issues. I know some people are like, you have dad. No, my parents were married for 50 some years. My dad was with me from my birth until he passed. So I do not have daddy issues. I was a daddy's little girl. I just have noticed that older men, again, they appreciate me more, you know?
You know what? And I kind of agree with you. I do agree with you there. And that's the one thing I did, because I think that there a lot happened with our generation. I think that there's a lot more entitlement in our generation, and I feel like those that are a little older didn't grow up with the same type of entitlement. They do have some in different ways, but that appreciation, that goes a long, long way. A long way. I think that our generation, a lot of especially in our community, in the Black community. There are a lot of people in our generation that were raised in single parent homes. I was. My dad was around a little bit, in and out, it's the typical story. And you know what? I might have daddy issues. Love my pops to death, but
Maybe.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much very I guess you could say ambivalent at times. So I think that that's kind of where those issues lie. But I feel like there's some issues that are unresolved in our generation that don't necessarily leave the men capable of showing that appreciation, not knowing how to express uh, that in a way. Whereas older generations, my great grandfather lived to be 104 and his wife was 82.
Mm.
And he was the most appreciative man. Like, she went out and harvested the carrots that day, and he made it seem like it was a party and we should bake a cake for her. It was like,
Oh, that's sweet.
I grew up kind of seeing
Yeah.
that kind of thing, like, and that's that dynamic. That older man,
Yeah.
he's 100. Got him, a young filly that he's had since she was 50, and he was 70, and they grew old together. He appreciated her, he loved her, he respected her. And then I watched men like my dad who, love him to death, but wasn't the best to his women, and not very appreciative. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be a generational thing,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say the few older men that I dated, one did kind of mention marriage. I've been married, so I was a little flippant about it. I was like, haha, that's funny. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you have to have a serious relationship. You don't have to be married to have that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about the special friend shit at the funeral and all that. I feel like that's people putting their own. I don't know. It's just what you need a title when you're living in love. When you're living to be with someone, and you're living in love, all that falls by the wayside. I don't need a title. I'm not gonna now. There ain't gonna be no side chick. But if it's me and you, it's me and you, and that's gravy. Let's rock and roll. Let's get it on.
I think when it comes to that point, you probably make a decision to be married when it's time.
Uh, Maybe I might. I don't know. It would
Well,
take a lot.
yeah. We'll see with you and
It's
I, Queen.
it's gonna get to that point.
You know what I like about you and I, Queen? We get along so well, but we have so many different views on
Oh
things. Like for
yeah.
me, I love titles. I'm not gonna date someone for a year, like seriously date where it's like we're actually sharing time together, we're talking on the phone all the time. It's been a year, and especially if we're acting like we're together and I can't call you of something of importance, if it's a boyfriend or whatever. To me, that's I don't know. For me, I like the titles because the
Yeah.
titles
No,
makes me feel like it's like
it's secure.
we're more serious versus, oh, that's just my friends. That's my friends. You know.
We'll see, because you're not afraid of commitment, and I am like a commitment phobe.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I dated that man for 3 years, and both of us for the first year we were just having a really great time.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and same with my husband, like my ex-husband. We dated for a few years, but we were young in college, and we both realized that we're young and in college. I'm in San Francisco, he's here.
Yeah.
So we dated, and then it was finally like, wow, like, hey, you survived the gauntlet. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
should we do now? Um, so yeah, so I think for me it's a little bit of that commitment. I find that as an artist, primarily being in relationships, I've been asked to choose between my craft and their time or attention. I've been in the situation where what I was doing, what I was trying to create, was getting in the way of developing the relationship. Not another man or another woman, but my actual craft. So I feel like maybe that's why I'm a little bit more guarded, because I wanted to create something organic and enriching that is all of mine, and then share it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was constantly thrust in situations where I was with people that didn't understand that, because they were more analytical, say like engineers and science, based
Mm-hmm.
people like
Yeah.
that. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I think that's why I didn't really kind of latch on. I loved being married. I loved being a wife. I was a dutiful wife. I was that kind. Like, he could call me at 4:30 and be like, "Hey, I'm bringing the boss home for dinner. Um, Hook it up. You coming home to a beautiful dinner. I can cook. I'm throwing down. The house is clean. Like, the kid is good to go. Everybody's on their P's and Q's. I liked that. I like a good challenge. It was a challenge to
Yeah.
me. But at the same time, I just feel like the labels are what kind of put a strain on relationships. You can have an understanding between one another that it's you, like, you know if it's you and someone else and not. You can put a title on it and then have someone run around on you like, but you got a title. So, oh, okay, well, I'm the wife, but he got 7 side chicks. Like, I don't want that title. I don't want to be your wife when you have 7 side chicks. I'd rather be your woman. I'd rather just be that beautiful woman, and not have nothing. And if you got the 7 side chicks, you can kick rocks too. But yeah, I don't. The labels for me, I just, they make me nervous.
Hmm.
They make me nervous.
And see, the labels for me make me feel secure. So we have two different women that
Yeah,
see the same thing in two different ways with two different perspectives.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And still get along and support each other in what they feel. How about that?
exactly. Exactly. So if you guys don't mind, real quick, uh, if you guys are watching out there, if you're watching live, or you're watching, it's already recorded, and you're watching it in the future, please pause for a second, like this, and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you a million times. Do you mind if we discuss real quick about our next topic? I know I briefly talked to you, Queen, about it. Do you mind if we discuss it so the
Yeah,
people watching can know what to look forward to?
go for it.
So we haven't formulated a title yet, but we would like to talk about what, well, all of us on here are Black, as you can see. We would like to talk about what would, if we could talk to 100 Black men, what would they say they would like for Black women to change? We might have some that says, you know what, I like you how you are. Y'all are all beautiful and made and perfect. But then we're going to have those ones that are very
Have
opinionated,
differing
and I
opinions.
and I would love to hear the opinions. So we're gonna talk about that next week. I'm actually gonna try to invite some of my male friends on this panel, and I would love for them to share with me what if they would like to for us to change something. What can we improve on? I'm gonna put it that way. What not change? What can we improve on?
Very
Because
good.
sometimes um, when you're looking out, you can't see something, but if someone holds up a mirror to you, then you can see it. So I want this to be a topic where us Black women, Black men can hold a mirror up to us. And it's not anything to be for us to be defensive. Try not to be defensive. Maybe we won't be defensive, but let's just see what happens. So I would like that to be our next topic. So in order for you guys to know when we're actually going to talk live about that topic and have an open panel, please hit the notification button. Then you will know when that topic is going to come up. So we are getting close to the hour mark. Is there any last thing you guys would like to say about how old is too old when it comes to dating?
I'm gonna say this: if you
Yes.
want an older person, go to Minnie Alexandra. It might be have some you might have to change a couple of diapers and all that, but Social Security, insurance, you willing to win. Go in the well, go on trips and everything. I'm going on mute.
Thank you, Shano.
I would like to close it out from my portion of just saying, match lifestyle. If you are a passionate person, you're a passionate young woman, and sex is important to you, then you need to find an older man that's important to too. If you are active, then they need to be active. If you are mature, they need to be mature, but they need to be able to meet you where you're youthful. So it's just make it a meeting of the minds, and, find someone who is living in that your similar lifestyle. We're not talking about money and all that. We're talking about your core, what you do, what you think, what you say, how you feel, spiritually, mentally, physically. And then, if you are just 20 and you want to date a 60-year-old because you're waiting for him to hit that retirement age, I don't hate on you. I ain't gonna do it, but I ain't hating on you.
Mhm.
All right, I'm done.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'll see
Um,
you later. I'll see you at the next show.
thank you.
All right.
My final thoughts on everything. Again, I'm experienced with dating older men, and I have a genuine appreciation for them. I really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I don't know. I don't know who my forever guys. I'm gonna say guys. I don't know. I don't know. Again, because my range is so wide. I mean, as a matchmaker, is that's a good thing, right? Having a large range to
Yes, it's
choose
a
from
numbers
versus being
game.
like this. I'm like this. The whole world is my oyster.
Absolutely. And it should be. It's all about character, values. Those are the things that you want to narrow,
Yeah.
because those characters and values can show up with different clothes and different ages. You just Being open is a blessing, and I am with you.
Yes.
I do value. I greatly value older men, because
Thank
those are
you, older
that make me
men.
feel protected. So thank you for
Yeah.
protecting me. Thank
Yes.
you. Those are the ones that made me consider going to the altar, but they were smart enough to not say anything about it to
Yeah.
freak me out. They knew, and they kept me safe always. So I appreciate that.
I think dating older men, in certain parts of me, I'm always trying to improve myself, and I'm flawed in so many ways. Even when it comes to dating, I am.
We all are.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm, you know what? I'm the kind of person. I think I scare some guys off, and I've refrained from telling men my flaws like too quickly. Let them settle in a little bit, but I let them get comfortable, huh? For you pounce on them. But anyway, so I think dating older men has helped me in my in maturing as a woman.
Absolutely.
I
I
really
agree.
do, because they a lot of the older men that I have dated, they don't put up with the okey doke
Yeah.
from me.
No.
So I'd be like, okay, this is not okay. He don't like this. Let me fix this. Let me do this. And they've told me the truth about myself. And
Yes.
on the other hand, they've showed me how a woman should be treated.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so for me,
Yes.
when I date men that are not, and not every older man does that.
No.
So
No.
for me, it's hard to go backwards. And some of the men in my age group, they have not hit that level yet, because they have not been asked, or a woman has not asked for that type of treatment. So for me, it's a good thing I've dated older men, but then on the other hand, they've spoiled me a little bit. But
Yes, they do in a bit, in a
yeah,
sense. Yeah,
yeah,
in a sense. I will say one thing about men our own age. I do love, and it's so simple. I love the pop culture,
yeah.
like just the culture, the understanding of how it was growing up as someone who didn't have computers and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden having it, and watching everything evolve. I like being able to share that. There's, that we have the similarity of growing up. There's nothing I can say that's more valuable than that. We can reference the same things. We know where we were during the same events. It was, like landing on the moon. Man landed on the moon before we were alive, but we
I was
definitely
like, girl, you
know.
remember that? How
No,
old
but
are you?
no, I'm only 42, but we definitely remember where we were when the towers fell, and I appreciate that. And I
Or
appreciate,
Tupac got shot. I remember what I was there.
yeah, or
Uh-huh.
when Aaliyah died, like
Girl,
we
I
can
heard
share
about Leah. I
these
was in my car.
things.
I remember that.
And I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I
Yeah.
appreciate it's like a kindred like spirit, it's a kindred spirit.
Yes.
I feel like a connectedness with
Yes.
men my age. I have a lot of male friends that are my age, platonic, but we get along because of that, because
Mm-hmm.
there's just that knowing, that
Mm-hmm.
shared knowingness, and I appreciate
Yeah.
them for that.
So older men out there, the mature men, please don't dye your hair.
Leave it.
Women like myself, and we love that the
Yes.
silver, the gray. So
Yes.
you don't have to do anything fancy to make yourself look young. Just be who you are.
Keep
Be
pulling up your
classy,
pants.
huh?
Keep pulling up your pants.
Well, wear pants. Yeah, they would. Yeah, keep on wearing pants your size. You know, yeah, be yourself. So thank you so much, Queen. I have my final words. My final words is we all are looking for love, if we want to admit it or not. But we need to find the love that's inside of us first. Life will be sweeter and a lot smoother. This is
Amen.
Minnie Alexander. Thank you so much. Have a good night.